Well, welcome everybody. Deja vu. 5 months ago, we stood in the same office talking about the arrest of Bobby Thompson. 5 months ago today. Up with me is my department, Drew DeSerto, my chief, Roberto Robinson, Steve Schumacher from BCI, and everybody knows the great Sheriff Bob Reed. I first want to thank BCI and Attorney General DeWine. DeWine could not be here today for their outstanding work on this investigation that brought Bobby Thompson to justice. 5 months ago, again, we stood here talking about the success of that arrest. My deputies pursued Bobby Thompson all over the country and arrested him in Portland, Oregon, where he was living yet under another fictitious name. Our officers escorted Thompson back to Cuyahoga County Jail, the sheriff's jail, where he signed his name only as Mr. X. Local and national fingerprint checks were conducted at that point in time. No fingerprints came back to match. Much has developed within the last 72 hours, and this is how it began. I began conducting Google searches, simple Google searches, on things that I knew were similar to Thompson on the internet. We always knew that there was a reason that Thompson signed his name as Mr. X and did not want to be identified. And we know now why. I Googled such things as missing vets, fugitives from the military who were on the run, major fraud fugitives, etc., and a list of the 10 most wanted fraud fugitives came back. It was then that I found an FBI wanted poster in the name of John Donald Cody from 1987, a fugitive who has been on the run, who was wanted for fraud charges by the IRS, and also wanted out of the Eastern Division, also wanted for questioning by the FBI for espionage. Cody was a graduate of the University of Virginia and had a law degree from Harvard. He was a captain in the U.S. military intelligence and spoke many, many different foreign languages. The photographs that are on Google Images were from Cody posing in a military uniform in 1969 with a pompadour hairstyle, and a photo of Cody from 1980 that was on his wanted poster. Those photos looked to me as a young version of Thompson. I showed those to my deputies who thought and believed that was possibly Bobby Thompson. I also sent the photographs of Cody from 1969 and 80 and those of Thompson to a local ATF agent that's a sketch artist. And he got with his group, John Kilnap, and they came back, and all 6 of them thought that this was Bobby Thompson. Bobby Thompson and John Donald Cody were one and the same. What stuck out to me was Cody's pompadour hairstyle in that military photo in 1969. Why? Because in some of the hairstyles that you can Google right now on the internet that have been worn by Thompson over the years, he wore a pompadour hairstyle in those photos. In our profession, 1 and 1 always equals 2, and I believe man is always a creature of habit, no matter what identity he undertakes. We then began comparing a few similarities between Cody and Thompson. In addition to his pompadour hairstyle, after we arrested Thompson in Portland, in his room, he left behind 2 bottles of eye drops. On the wanted poster, if you look at that on Cody, he did not have tear glands and uses eye drops constantly. Cody practiced law in Sierra Vista, Arizona, before he disappeared. Many of the fake IDs that my men uncovered over Thompson throughout the years and BCI recovered were from the state of Arizona. We believed all along that Thompson was highly intelligent and possibly an attorney. One source has told us Thompson knew how to, at least on one occasion, look up legal opinions very, very quickly. And remember, Thompson in Cuyahoga County Jail, when he was first arraigned, wanted to represent himself. We knew Thompson spoke many foreign languages, and so did Cody. John Donald Cody was a creature of habit, and his identity throughout the years that he undertook, and the identity he undertook throughout the years led us to believe, again, that John Donald Cody and Bobby Thompson were one and the same. And within the last 72 hours, we received from our friends at the FBI the evidence that we needed. I spoke to the case agent in Washington who had the military fingerprints of Cody from the Department of State in 1969, and he sent those over to us. The Cuyahoga County Sheriff's Office, through Sheriff Bob Reed and Captain Bova, had a fingerprint examiner at our office awaiting those fingerprints. They matched Cody and Thompson to being the same person. In addition, the FBI, through their national fingerprint experts, concluded that Bobby Thompson and John Donald Cody are one in the same. Bobby Thompson is wanted fugitive John Donald Cody. And again, in our business, 1 and 1 always equals 2. Cody has been wanted since 1987. As I said, he disappeared in '84. Again, I want to thank Attorney General Mike DeWine. I know he really wanted to be here, and BCI for their outstanding leadership and their work on this investigation that brought this to justice. I want to thank Sheriff Bob Reed and ATF who participated, and the FBI for all their assistance. And I want to thank our men and women who dedicated the pursuit and apprehension of John Donald Cody. With that said, we will open it to questions.
What was the origin of State Department military fingerprints, and why didn't you get a hit on them earlier?
They were not in the national system.
Is this any
When John Donald Cody was arrested John Donald Cody was never arrested. He was indicted. When somebody's arrested, they come into our custody, they're arraigned. He was never arrested. So there was no fingerprints from that time. The only fingerprints that we found were from 1969 that the FBI sent us over.
What can you tell us about those original charges about IRS fraud and I believe you mentioned something else, FBI espionage, did you say?
He was wanted for question for espionage. The FBI is going to be putting out a press release here in a few minutes on that, and I will refer all questions to them, thankfully.
This prosecuted several states. Why is Ohio most aggressive pursuing it?
As far as,
Case being tried here in Ohio.
well, that's a question for BCI. If, again, BCI brought the original charges on Mr. Cody, who we know him as today. I don't, I believe we've got great law enforcement officers that bring things forward here. And as you can see, we were able to put this whole thing together from beginning to end and identify this guy. That's the kind of guy we love to catch, guys that sign their name Mr. X and challenge us, correct? The sheriff has a right to know who's in his jail. And now we were able to give him that information last night. So again, it was great police work, I believe, on everybody's part here. Thank goodness for Google. It's the bottom line. Those are the actual Google images. If you go on Google right now, you can pull up everything you see right here.
Marshal, now that you know a little bit, and you know his name, can you do anything about him personally as well as anybody that you've been in contact with and they've helped?
We're going to look at that, and that's up to the BCI investigators to follow up on that.
Did you have any reaction when you?
No comment.
Given that you could find everything on Google, what took so long to figure out who he was?
Well, I happen to be a little bored that Friday afternoon, if you want to know the truth. It's in our profession, it's always about matching things up. I mean, it's even though that all looked good, all those little things helped a lot. The eye drops, where attorney, where he practiced law, that hairstyle. How often have you seen that? Google images of him right now, and a lot of his pictures, you're going to see that hairstyle under Bobby Thompson. That stood out because who does that? No offense to anybody who does, but you don't see it too often.
How long, could you do a little bit more about his time in the Army? How long was he, sir?
He was there in 1969. I do not know the full details. He's a graduate of the university, and you find it on that sheet there. Pat, you may even want to put the pictures over here in front of these other two pictures. But he is a graduate of the University of Virginia in 1969, graduate of Harvard Law School in 1972, and again, attorney, practiced in a number of different areas, and so on and so on. basically drove his car to an airport in Phoenix, Arizona, I believe it is, and this is all public information you can find out, and it disappeared ever since with his client's money, I believe, and so on and so on.
When was that he disappeared?
1984, I believe it was.
Can you talk about all the charges that he's facing now, not only?
Well, that's for BCI. They're going to handle the local charges. I'm going to refer those questions to the U.S. Attorney in Eastern Virginia, Neil McBride. You can follow up with him on that.
I walked in a little late, I apologize, but,
I'm not saying it again, man. So, but yes, John Donald Cody and Bobby Thompson are one and the same. We have identified him positively through fingertips. Our guys did a tremendous job here putting everything together, and he is going to be charged in Cuyahoga County under John Donald Cody.
are you available after?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. End of the mystery? I think so. You know, let's see if there's more to come about, but this is definitely John Donald Cody. You know, we're happy, you know, as law enforcement officers here and we love those challenges. So you got to get more people that want to challenge us, let us know. But you know, he's a guy that thought, number one, he could never get caught, and number two, he'd never be identified. And we were able to do both. So with that said, Sheriff, you want to add anything?
Just one thing. It's you know, we all, in our positions, I've been doing this for 38 years, and the Marshal for a long time as well. Sometimes it's really great to get back into the weeds, exactly what the United States Marshal did. He jumped right into the investigation, and I find that really admirable, that you get right into it, you just work side by side with your colleagues and your officers, just like at times I jump in with our deputies in the warrant unit. So I think that's admirable that the United States Marshal gets deeply involved in an investigation, not just a manager, but also a policeman.
Thanks, Sheriff. Steve, you want to say anything?
Well, just on behalf of Attorney General DeWine, I want to congratulate Pete. Excellent work. Frequently, shall I say, the Attorney General tells us when state, federal, and local law enforcement can work together, good things happen. And this is a prime example of that work product. And once again, Pete, congratulations. Great job.
Thanks. Okay, so with that said, unless anybody else has any other questions, that's it. Again, Bobby Thompson is John Donald Cody. So thank you.